Hey, so I thought it would be fun to, now that I've seen Spider-Man for the very first time, talk a little bit about what I thought about the movie. Because honestly, I was kind of just watching it because I knew that you loved it so much. And I wanted to, do something, that you wanted to do. But I did not expect to end up loving it. I seriously loved that movie. And so thank you so much for choosing it. So I thought I would blab a little bit about my thoughts on it. I enlisted the help of a friend who decided that they wanted to remain nameless, and that is fine. But I asked them if they could send me some questions about, like questions I could answer about what I thought about the movie, kind of like as a prompt, because I could sit here and be like, I loved it. But to get into like the real juice of it, I thought some prompts would be helpful, some questions. So they sent me 20 questions about what I thought about Spider-Man. And this is for anyone who is new here. We just watched Spider-Man, the 2002 Tobey Maguire one, the first Spider-Man movie in 2002. And if you want to watch it with me, I have a watch along on my channel, and it's kind of fun. Like, we have like a countdown and we start the movie at the same time, and so we just kind of watch it together and laugh at the funny parts together and react to the crazy parts together and all that good stuff. So so I have these 20 questions in front of me, and I thought I'll try to answer. I haven't read them actually. So I'll try to answer them as best I can. No promises that, maybe I'll have forgotten something or want to keep my opinion to myself on some of them. So I'll try my best. But anyway, and as I go through these questions, please put your own answers in the comments if you want to share your own thoughts. I'm so curious as to what you all think too. Long story short, I loved it. Now let's read the first question. Oh, okay. Well, that's kind of the answer to the first question. What did you think of the movie overall? I loved it. I loved everything about it except for the spiders. It gets an A- rating. It would have been an A+ if there weren't so many damn real spiders, at least in the beginning. That was so gross. Aside from that, I loved, okay, let's go from the beginning to the end. And then I'll probably end up repeating myself when the deeper questions come. But right, let me get cozy here. So in the beginning to the end, okay, I loved how much like we immediately feel for Tobey Maguire. I think his name's Peter, right? Yeah, Peter Parker. I love how much we immediately feel for him in the beginning. Like, he's such a kind of nerdy outcast, and like I always have like a soft spot for that, because it must be so hard. And yeah, he was like, like clearly like in love with his neighbor, kind of perved on her for a second. Like, hold on, wait a second. Okay, there was one scene where he's like looking in her bedroom window. PSA for anyone who's listening, don't do that. It's creepy. But everything about him was so endearing that we forgive it. But yeah, don't look in girls' bedrooms, or don't look in anyone's bedrooms. That's not good. But aside from that, their chemistry from the beginning, I thought was crazy. Like, it was so like electric. Like, you just wanted them to kiss like immediately. And and she had that knucklehead boyfriend and all that stuff. So that was like probably like the best thing in the beginning. And then I just thought it was so fun after the disgusting spider stuff. It was so fun watching him like discover his powers, and like, he was just like having such a ball with it. And I thought that was really cool. And then seeing like the transformation of his best friend's dad into the bad guy, the Green Gremlin or something like that. Green Goblin, maybe. The Green Gimlet. I don't know. That was wild. And I wasn't like really sure totally, how much of his dad was good versus evil. His dad was doing that like rotten thing that some parents do when they like treat their kids' friends like they'd rather their kids' friends be their kid than their actual kids, which is like, don't do that, guys. That's so mean. That always makes you feel awkward, like, why can't you be more like Lacey, like that kind of thing. It's not nice. Don't do that. But yeah, so like, he had that bad side, but then like he seemed like he was fighting becoming the bad guy. I don't know. So that was really interesting. And his best friend, who, oh my God, James Franco, it looked like so different. He looked so different back then. I barely recognized him. And he seemed like also like good and bad, because like, he was Peter's friend, like really good friend, but then stole the girl he liked. Like, whoa, bro code. But he also may have really loved her, and Peter didn't make a move. Like, I get it, but like, yeah, so that's questionable. Then all the action stuff, like, great. It's not like my favorite thing, but it was pretty cool. Like, all the like flying around, they did a really good job of that, of him like flying around like a crazy spider. And what else? Okay, my favorite stuff, that was the romance, that upside down kiss. That is literally the reason that I chose this Spider-Man movie. I know, like, I could have, let you guys choose which one, but I was really scared that if I did that, you wouldn't give me the romantic upside down kiss one. So I decided to take that power out of your hands and keep it for myself. And so I chose the one with the kiss, and I'm so glad I did, because it was so romantic. And then of course we had to recreate it afterwards on Patreon. That was very important to me. And so their chemistry was crazy. And then I'm left with questions at the end. I'm left with a question as to two things, like why she all of a sudden realized she was in love with Peter. Like, did she realize, like, after that kiss, she realized that that was the same kiss as when she kissed Spider-Man, and it was almost like, she was like in a trance by his kiss or something? Or I don't really know, like, why she realized in that moment that that she loved him. And then I wasn't totally sure why he said no. Like, he could have been like, great, I got the girl. Like, I'm not really entirely sure why he didn't. I was hoping he was going to say something like, Harry needs you right now, right? I feel like that would have worked, because even though his dad was like a big bad gremlin guy, like, he still was his dad. And so I think that it was really important that, that he had his girlfriend there to comfort him. So maybe that's where Peter was coming from, and he just didn't want, even if he was mad at Harry for like stealing his girl, he didn't want him to like go through it alone and like go through losing his dad, like, and then lose his girlfriend at the same time. That's what I'm hoping it was. And And maybe also he just realized like, oh my God, I'm Spider-Man now. Like, I don't have time for a relationship. I can't give my all in a relationship and be Spider-Man. Like, whoa, that's a full-time job. So yeah. Anyway, that's my start to finish. Like, overall, how did I feel about the movie? What did I think of the movie? That was my answer to question 1. So, question number 2, who was your favorite character and why? I mean, it's Spider-Man. Like, my favorite character is Peter Parker. I would say, because he's a really good character. Like, I think he's really well written. You fall in love with him instantly. And like, even though he's like a nerd, he has that one thing, nerds are cute anyway. So like, that's not even like a down part. But like, he's got that like endearing, like, you just want to like protect him in the beginning. And then he's protecting everybody else. Yeah, I think he's like a really good character. So I would say Peter Parker and Spider-Man. But like, I feel like that's the obvious answer. So I guess not. Okay, no. Aside from Spider-Man, because that's the obvious answer, who is my favorite character? I'm gonna have to say his uncle. And I think that whoever wrote this movie did this to us on purpose. They made him so like wonderful and warm and made us fall in love with him so that it would hurt even more when he was, spoiler alert for anyone who has not watched the movie yet, don't listen to this, stop it now. If it is, I will put like spoilers on a spoiler alert. But anyway, I think they wrote his character to be like so like you just love him so much, so that it hurt so much when he was murdered. And oh my God, that scene killed me. Oh my God, I can't even, because like I was totally rooting for Spider-Man, like not stopping, Peter not stopping that robber, after that guy like wouldn't pay him for the wrestling match, wouldn't pay him like enough. And I was like, haha, like if you did the watch along with me, like you would have heard me. And I was like, yeah, go you, Peter. And then, oh my God, it's like so sad, because if he had stopped him, his uncle wouldn't have been murdered. And like, it's not his fault. Like that kind of thing is like, you could never know. It's definitely not his fault. But it doesn't matter. Like, that he's going to be thinking about that and regretting that forever. So yeah, that scene killed me. And, but yeah, like, I don't know, there was just something about his uncle that like, he just clearly cared so much about Peter and was like trying to give him that like loving, like fatherly advice. And yeah, that just killed me. So yeah, I would say he's my favorite character. And then my third favorite character is the girl, but like, I'm not gonna lie, I already forgot her name. What's her name? I wonder if it's listed in any of these questions. Kirsten Dunst, right? That's her name. But what's the girl's name? All right, I'm gonna Google it right now on my phone. I did like her. Let's see, but she has bad taste in guys. Until she chose Peter Parker. And let me look at her name. Her name is Mary Jane. Okay. Mary Jane Watson. Yes, I remember that. Okay, yeah. So I don't judge people who have bad taste in partners, because that's like my MO. I see like a toxic red flag and I'm like, where? Hi, I'm here. Trying to get better about that. that's my goal, is to get better about that. But anyway, this is not about me. So anyway, it was frustrating to watch. It's so frustrating to watch that stuff from the outside. When you're on the inside, it's a different story. But, you know, she's sitting next to this like total knucklehead, like, and meanwhile, Peter, who is like clearly in love with her, it's right there. But aside from that, I did like her character. Like, you know, she's just nice, and like her chemistry with him is crazy. And okay, mostly it's because she has really good hair. I really liked the red hair on her. I thought it looked so good. Yeah. So, okay, that's my answer to who was your favorite character and why. It was a long answer, sorry. Okay, what did I think of Tobey Maguire as Peter Parker and Spider-Man? Okay, so confession, I totally thought, and when I looked up online, I realized I'm not the only one who thought this. I totally thought that Tobey Maguire was the guy from that old show, that 70s show. Let me look it up, because, oh my God, they look exactly the same. Let me find this actor's name. Answer is, I thought he was great. I loved him. I thought he was perfect. I'm like scared to watch future Spider-Man movies and to find out that, you know, to see what somebody else playing Spider-Man is going to be like. I'm so excited though, because I looked up and it looks like they made like 2 more Spider-Man movies with Toby and Kirsten, so I'm excited about those. I don't think we'll watch them next. We're gonna have to hold off a little bit. This channel can't be Lacey's thoughts on Spider-Man 24/7, but we'll definitely get to them, I think. But yeah, so I thought, okay, Topher Grace, that's his name. Topher Grace, I totally thought was Tobey Maguire. I thought they were the same person. And so I was like Googling, you know, his IMDb, and I was like, where is that 70s show? I don't understand. And then I Googled and saw that they were different people, and that a lot of people think that they're the same person. So anyway, that's just like a funny thing that I thought of for the Spider-Man. Okay. Question number 4. How did you feel about the relationship between Peter Parker and Mary Jane? Well, I thought, especially in the beginning, that their chemistry was so fire that like I thought they were just gonna start like making out in that spider place, that you know, that like lab that was like full of those super gross spiders. Like I totally, like it was like get a room just with their eyes. Like they were so into each other. And so yeah, I mean, their chemistry was crazy. And you know, and then their upside down kiss, I'm going to talk about that like a million times in the rain, although I wanted her to wipe her face. Like she had so many raindrops all over her face, and she just was not wiping them, so that was annoying. But aside from that, it was like so romantic, and I did not understand why she wouldn't pull the mask down further. I know that would have been so bad, and Spider-Man would have gotten really mad about it. But I would have been so curious. I would have been like, okay, I'm pulling the mask all the way off because I want to see who the heck you are. But she's nice and didn't do that to him. So yeah, I thought that scene, it lived up to everything that I thought it would. You know, I had seen like, you know, like references to it in a lot of like things, and like, you know, I've seen like gifs with it, like, you know what I mean? So but yeah, seeing it in context was like super romantic. And yeah, I didn't really understand her dating Harry, I'm not gonna lie. Like I was like, I didn't feel like Harry would do that. But now I'm wondering, like, and don't spoiler it for me in the comments, but because I have not seen the other ones yet. But I feel like because Harry's dad is dead, I feel like he could end up becoming this super villain, because he'll realize, like, you killed my father, right? Isn't that like the thing? It's like, isn't that like that's like the line from Princess Bride everyone quotes, which we probably are going to watch soon because a lot of people voted for that too. But isn't that like the line? It's like, you killed my father, now you must die, or something like that. Like, I feel like he's going to figure out that Toby killed his dad, and he's going to be like so mad about it, and he's going to be like, Spider-Man, I'm going to kill you. And then he's going to realize also that his girlfriend is in love with him, with Toby and Spider-Man. And he's going to be like, you killed my dad and you stole my girlfriend's love, and I'm totally going to get you now. That's my prediction. So it's like, don't tell me in the comments if I'm right. I don't want to know until I see it, but that's what I'm thinking is going to happen. So yeah, I thought that was crazy. And so I didn't really like that. I didn't really like that she dated his best friend, because come on, she has to know. She has to know at least that Peter like was in love with her. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it was totally innocent. But anyway, so yeah, it's hard to date someone though after they've dated your best friend. It's like kind of weirdsies. So I think that they have hope, but with Spider-Man needing to Spider-Man and all, it might not happen for a while. So those are my thoughts on Peter and Mary Jane. I loved it. I loved the chemistry. I loved the kiss. I loved the romance. I was a little confused by the ending, but I think it will all be explained to me as time goes on. All right. So, number 5. What was my favorite scene in the movie? 1000% the kiss. Like, it's not even a question. That's the whole reason I watched the movie. I can tell you some least favorite scenes if this person never sent any, and that question, I'll add that in at the end. 100% the kiss. And then I would say, my next favorite scenes were, when he was discovering his powers. That was so fun. Like, just watching him, like, you know, like when he came down the stairs and climbed on the wall a little bit. That was so cute. And then, what else? Like, yeah, when he was like trying to like figure out how to spray his web, and he's like, web, go web, or whatever. And like, it wouldn't come out. And then it just like came out, and he's like hopping across buildings and just like having so much fun. That was really fun. And then it was kind of fun watching him kind of beat up the bully, even though he did kind of start it too by accident, but still. So those were my favorite parts. Let me think if there's anything else that's like a standout. I mean, just the beginning chemistry with Mary Jane, that was super, super like steamy, I thought. Those are my favorite scenes. Okay. Question number 6. Did I find the Green Goblin to be a compelling villain? Yes, very much. And even before he turned into the Green Goblin, like, I don't think he's like a bad guy. Like, maybe he is, but like, but there was definitely some villainous in him, before he even became the Green Goblin. Like, I have seen that so much with my friends' parents, where they like kind of act like their kid is like this like total mess up and whatever. And then like, you know, act like I'm like, why can't you be more like Lacey? You know what I mean? Or like, you know, or just like treat me like I'm some kind of like, you know, this like poster child of like what having like a good kid would be like. And it's just like, it's also kind of cracks me up, because like, if you asked my parents, like, maybe I'm not, you know, they probably are thinking the same thing about other kids or whatever. And everyone can think what they want to think, but like treating your kid like that, I think is so crappy. And like, you know that like, a kid is always going to want their parents' attention and love and like validation. And like the way he would just like totally overlook Harry and be like, well, Peter understands everything and Peter is so smart, and oh, why can't you be more like Peter? Like to me, that's straight up villain before you even have a mask or any kind of scary weapon. So yeah, I thought he was a very compelling villain. Like he reminded me of like some specific parents I know, actually. And I've always hated that. I've always thought it's so mean. But then I found it kind of compelling too, because he definitely like, he took a chance at doing a thing he shouldn't have done, and someone ended up dead. And like, that is so dumb and so like just crappy. But then on top of that, he seemed to have some guilt with it. And then he seemed to really be fighting this thing. So there was definitely depth to this guy. So he's like not all bad. And, like what I said, like I said, like, I think he's just kind of a mixed up dude. Not the best, kind of a mean dad, but like he probably still loves this kid too, just in like the way he knows how. And so when he becomes a villain, like he's fighting it, because I don't think he's all bad, and like, when he was fighting it in front of Peter at the end, like, that was him, lying, right? Like trying to play on his empathy, right? But it also kind of tricked us in the audience, because he did actually have those kinds of reservations, and he was trying to fight being the Green Goblin for a while. So at least I was kind of tricked. I didn't know. And then I thought maybe Peter might like kill him. And then it turns out like he actually was not lying, and he actually felt bad and all this stuff. And like the mask had this hold on him. So anyway, I thought it was really interesting. And yeah, like I thought he was really well written, because like, again, he's so realistic. Oh my God, he's so realistic as a parent. Like, the way he treated his kids, like, it makes me cringe. And then, but then the depth of like fighting the badness, the villainous that wanted to take him over. So yeah, I thought it was very compelling. And then, at the end, clearly the villain in him like really took over, because he was lying when he was, trying to tell Peter that like, he didn't want to be this way, and it was just the mask and all this stuff. So anyway, kudos to those writers. I thought he was very well written. Okay. Sorry, I'm taking like 100 years with every question, but like I have a lot to talk about. Okay, number 7. What were your thoughts on the special effects, considering the movie was made in 2002? I was blown away. I mean, what was 2002, like 22 years ago, right? Yeah, I thought it was really good. Like I was really impressed. Like I thought Spider-Man was like jumping from building to building, and I thought it looked really, really cool. Let's see, what other special effects were there? Like all the things blowing up, and there was one moment where she was on the like not deck. What would you call it? It's like I don't know, it's like a cement deck off of the side of a building, and like it was about to fall down for like 1 second. It did look kind of fake, but that was okay. I mean, it's like a comic booky kind of movie, so this stuff is not like supposed to be like perfectly realistic. But that was the only moment I felt like that, though. Like throughout the whole movie, like I felt like it looked really new and like really modern, and I was very impressed by the special effects they had back then. What else? So I'm trying to think special effects wise. I think that's about it. yeah, the spiders, I don't know if, I assume they were like CGI. That was impressively disgusting. When that spider bit him, like I wanted to throw up. But yeah, it looked really real. Really real. So good job making a disgusting moment. Yeah, otherwise, I thought the special effects were fantastic. All right, question number 8. How did I feel about the pacing of the story? That's an interesting question. That's something like I've only recently thought of, like since I've started writing. I've only started writing in the last like couple of years. I thought it was good. I thought the pacing was good. I would say the only thing that left me with question was her realizing that she loved Peter Parker at the end. That felt a little like soon to me. It like felt a little like wait, what? Why? And the only thing I can point to is that like she kissed him and like, you know, realized it was the same kiss as Spider-Man, or maybe, you know, Spider-Man has a little venom in him that like hypnotizes her into loving him or something. I don't know. But yeah, that's what I have to point to, because like, I mean, it was such a well-written movie that like there has to be something that like I'm just missing, and I think it must be the kiss. So yeah, that's the only pacing thing that I can point to that I was like, I was taken off guard by. But everything else I thought kind of like happened when it was supposed to happen. You know what I mean? You know, the slow burn of wanting them to get together. I mean, it really, I was just like, get a room, you guys. Come on, you know you like each other. So those are my thoughts on pacing. Did I enjoy the action sequences is question number 9. Did I enjoy the action sequences? Yes, but I'll be completely honest that in a movie, that is the part I am not interested in the most. So, you know, when you guys suggest action movies, I'm probably gonna be like hesitant, like, oh, you know, I will watch them. But yeah, that's not really what I gravitate towards. And I think that's okay. You know, I think everybody likes different stuff. And if you love action movies, I love that for you. I want everyone to, you know, enjoy their time on this planet, do what you love. But yeah, as I didn't think there were too many in this movie. And I know that because I never was like, oh, another action sequence. You know what I mean? Like I was into it. Like I was like captivated. So I think they did a great job. You know, I was like invested the whole time and like hoping that, you know, that Spider-Man would save the day, you know. I loved that part about the baby being in the burning building. Oh, my baby's in there, and then it turns out to be the Green Goblin. Oh no, not the baby, it was like some other woman in there, and I knew that was gonna happen. I called it. But yeah, I thought that they were really well done, and like there was like such urgency, and it made me like worried and like, you know, on the edge of my seat, but like not for too long that I was like, oh, this is exhausting. Because sometimes for me personally, if an action movie has so much action, I just like tune out and I'm like, I don't even know what's happening. I'm just like watching things being blown up. But I never felt like that with this one. So I thought the action sequences were fantastic. So that's my answer to that. Okay, question 10. What did I think of the famous upside down kiss scene? I'm so excited I get to talk about this again. I loved it. Like I absolutely loved it. It was everything I hoped and dreamed it would be. It was so romantic, and I want to incorporate it into another audio. I can't put that one on YouTube, the part that I did incorporate it onto, but maybe one of these days I'll find a place that I can put it as a safe for work kiss. But yeah, I thought it was amazing, so beautiful, so romantic. Like the build up was so good, and we just wanted that like cathartic moment of them finally kissing, and it could not have been more romantic and high stakes and just beautiful, just beautifully shot. You know, a kiss in the rain, it doesn't get better than that. I mean, come on, it's like Jim and Pam's proposal, you know what I mean? It doesn't get better than that. Can I get through one audio without referencing The Office? I don't think I can. Okay, so that's my answer to the famous upside down kiss scene. I loved it, every second of it. And I want to have a kiss just like that one day. What do I have to do to like set that up in my real life? Do I have to like start dating someone and ask them to like fix something on my roof on like a really dangerous day, like a dangerous storm, and like tie their leg to the chimney until they slip, and then I'm just waiting there at the bottom of the ladder or something, like ready to give them a smooch? Do I have to do something like that? I don't know. I'll figure it out. It's got to happen one day in my life. Okay, I'm going to like manifest that I have an upside down kiss in my life. Okay, question 11. How do you feel about Peter Parker's transformation into Spider-Man? That was my favorite part. Like, I thought it was so much fun. I know I already talked about this, but it's just like that giddy, like, oh my God, I can do this. Like, can you even imagine? Can you imagine like waking up one day and you have like super strength or like some weird thing that you can do? I used to dream about this as a kid. And I will admit something so embarrassing right now. Oh my God. So I used to like wish that I could like make things levitate or like have some kind of magical powers. So I remember sitting on my porch like many days in a row one summer when I was a kid and like staring at objects. Like I would put like, you know, a pencil on the porch stairs, or like, you know, a plastic cup or something, and I would just stare at it and stare at it and stare at it and like focus so hard on trying to make it levitate. I don't know if that's like a sign of insanity or just like a cute kid story, but I'm gonna go with cute kid story because yeah, but I wanted those kinds of powers so bad. And so yeah, I used to do that. So watching like that scene of him being like, woohoo, I can do all this stuff, it was very fun and like also very like cathartic because he was doing my dream as a kid. Okay, so let's see, number 12. Did I like J.K. Simmons as Jonah Jameson? I don't know who that is, and I'm going to go to Google right now and find out. J. Jonas Jamerson, comic book character. Oh my God. Okay, yeah, I loved him. He was the guy who worked at the paper. He was amazing. He was like my favorite, and I recognized him from something. I feel like, isn't he in like one of those like those shows with like the court cases and they're always like trying to like solve things? It's like NCIS or something, or like I'm looking at his IMDb right now. God, he's had such a career. Holy smokes. He's in The Stand. I never seen that. American Dad, Robot Chicken. Holy crap, he's worked. Yeah, he was like one of my favorite characters. I take it back. He was my third favorite character, and Mary Jane was my fourth favorite character. I liked her, but he was so funny. Like, I loved how he had like no scruples at all, like no moral code. He was like, whatever will sell the paper. I don't care. Like, and I find those characters hilarious. If you listen to any of my roleplay audios, you will know that I get a kick out of bad guys and just people with no moral compass. I think it's funny, like not in real life. In real life, it drives me insane, and I want everyone to be nice to each other and treat each other with respect and love and like just not be jerks. But in fiction, I have so much fun with the bad guys, and like he's not even a bad guy, he's just like no moral compass, and I find it hilarious in a story. And I thought he played the character so well. I thought it was amazing. So that is my answer to that. I just loved him. Okay. 13, how did I feel about the ending of the movie? Let me get my legs comfortable here. I'm like sitting on them weird. Okay. How did I feel about the ending of the movie? Yeah, it left me with some questions. Like, I thought it was very cinematic, and definitely like, it definitely had to end that way, especially if they wanted to have sequels, they couldn't just, and also it'd be kind of weird if like his best friend's dad, he just kills his best friend's dad and then kisses his best friend's girlfriend. Like, yeah, that would have been kind of a dick move, right? So I get why he didn't. I just wish he said something like Harry needs you right now or something like that to like, make it make more sense, at least even to her, because she's probably sitting there like, or standing there like, I know you've been in love with me like my whole life, like come on. But yeah, so that left me with some questions, but otherwise, like I thought it was perfect. I thought, he had to kill the Green Goblin. Good for him. And I thought it was really good. I thought the ending was good. Let me get comfortable again. Okay, that's better. Okay, so let's see. What do I think of the theme, with great power comes great responsibility? Well, I think that I could probably do an entire rambles just about that line. I think it's a really important line, and I wasn't sure like if this is where that line came from, or if that's just a saying that's always been in our culture and in like the world, because it would blow my mind if this is where it came from. I've heard that a million times. I've probably said it a bunch of times too. It's such a good and powerful phrase. And it doesn't just, apply to superheroes. Like, I think it applies to so many things in life. And like, of course, like big, powerful positions, you know what I mean? If you're like a politician or just like a really super rich person or something, and you can like affect the world and like on a really like major scale, like that's like major responsibility, right? And you have to do what's like right for everyone, not just what's right for yourself. But then like it also, I think, is really important for like everyday people too, because even like if you're like a manager at the Gap, right? Like you may not feel like, oh, you have this great power, but you kind of do. Like I remember like, when I worked retail before, like I was like scared of my managers, like, like, whoa, like they have this like big, powerful position. And, and it is like you have people looking up to you and like looking to you to make decisions, and like, they have to kind of please you for their livelihood and stuff like that. And like, some people really abuse that. I've had a couple of managers now that really abused that and were like so mean, and they like knew that you had to take it because like, what are you going to do? You're going to just walk away? I can replace you in a second. You know what I mean? And so so many people like abuse that kind of power. And even like some parents, like, that's a huge power, is, being, having kids that like, you are their source of everything. And, they know that you as a kid, you're like relying on them, and like some people abuse that. And so, I don't think it just applies to like the super rich and super crazy powerful. I think it's everybody, you know what I mean? And so I think it's important for all of us to, take a look at like, where we are in our lives, like who looks up to us, like who do we actually have some power over, and like not treat them badly, right? Just to like treat everyone really good. And what else? I was thinking of something else. Oh no, something just popped in my head and now I can't think about it. Now I can't remember what it was. Anyway, moral of the story. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, if you want some bad examples of how people in power can abuse it, you can go over to my other YouTube. This is called Lacey Audio, and there's a lot of stories of people in powerful positions abusing their power. So don't do what they are doing. They're bad. They're going to end up in jail. They're not good people. I'm always scared people are going to think that I like toxic people. I don't. I just like stories about them. So yeah, that's how I feel about that line. I think it's an amazingly, amazingly powerful line. And like, yeah, I think that should be something that like kids are like taught to focus on when they're growing up and learning about things. So that's my answer to that. Oh my gosh, we're on number 15. We're getting close. We're getting close to being through all these. Okay. And by the way, I want to know what you all think about the answers to these questions. So please like put your own answers in the comments. I should have said that earlier. I'll probably tag it in at the beginning. Okay. 15. Were there any plot points or character decisions that didn't make sense to you? Yeah. I knew I was going to end up repeating myself, but yeah, I was a little confused as to why she suddenly realized she loved him. And the only clue I can think of is the kiss, is realizing that he wore the same lip gloss as Spider-Man or something, like she recognized the kiss. So that's a confusing thing for me. And then the other confusing thing for me was why he didn't say no, which I do think I understand. I do think it was kind of about Harry. You don't kill someone's dad and steal their girlfriend in the same weekend. Like, don't do that. Wait at least a week. Wait at least a week between those two things. I'm just kidding. Don't kill anyone. But I would say that those are the things I was confused on. I was slightly confused with when and why the Green Goblin turned all bad. He was definitely fighting it for a while, and what was the moment that he was totally taken over? I'm a little curious about that. If you all have any thoughts on that, please tell me in the comments. I'm so curious. I actually really want to know, help me clear this up. But yeah, so, and those are my answers to that. Let me think if there's anything else. I guess this isn't a problem with the plot. I mean, it makes sense. He's a good guy. He wouldn't do this, but maybe I'm not so good. If I had super spidey strength and sticky hands, sticky hands, I don't know why I said it like that, Hans, sticky Hans, suddenly had an accent for a second. If I had super speed and strength and sticky hands and I just won a wrestling match and they stiffed me for the money and they were counting the money right in front of me, I feel like I would have used my sticky web to grab the money out of his hand and I would have run out the door. I think I would have done it. And it would have saved his uncle. So I'm just saying. I'm just kidding. It was perfectly written. It had to be that way. but that's what I probably would have done in that situation. Or maybe not. Maybe I'm not a thief, but maybe I am. Just kidding. Okay. 16. How do you feel about the portrayal of Peter Parker's struggles with balancing his dual life? This is something that I think every superhero deals with. I can imagine. Hey, you know what? I'm going to liken it to my life. I have this whole YouTube thing going on, and I can't tell anybody. I'm not a superhero. I don't do anything really important, but I gab a lot online, and I tell stories, and I sing songs, and it's like this huge, gigantic, amazing part of my life. And literally the only person I can talk to about it is my best friend, and thank God for her, because she's amazing. But if I couldn't tell anyone at all, I think I'd lose my mind. Like, oh my God, I'm so bad at keeping secrets. Like, I mean, I'll keep other people's secrets, like I'm a vault, but my own secrets, oh my God, come on, I want to tell everyone I know. So yeah, I think that must be so hard for him, because he doesn't have anyone he can tell. You know, the only one who knew was the Green Goblin, and when he figured it out that he knew, I mean, it wasn't like a good thing. So yeah, I think that must have been so hard. And I'm, you know, I only have like a tiny insight of what that must be like. And it's hard enough. I mean, it's the best secret in the world. It's the best thing like of my life lately. But yeah, I just want to shout it to the rooftop, and I can't. So anyway, that's how I feel about that. Okay, 17. Did I notice any significant differences between this movie and other superhero movies you've seen? How? I'm sorry, but did you really think that I've seen other superhero movies? I know you're listening right now. My lovely friend who sent me these questions. It's one of our wonderful listeners and friends in Discord. Did you really think that I've seen any other superhero movies? Trying to think if I have. Okay. No, I lied. I have seen one. I saw, I've seen two, but I remember nothing about them. And you're going to hate me. I'm not even going to tell you what they were. Two different superhero movies. One I saw on my birthday, and my best friend and her boyfriend wanted to take me and my ex out for my birthday. And I had no interest in seeing this movie at all, but she had a crush on the main actor. And so for my birthday, we went out to see a movie that I did not care about seeing at all, and I completely zoned out the entire time. And just so that she could like ogle this guy she had a crush on in front of her boyfriend. Scandalous. He didn't care, and I still had a fun time, but like, yeah, I was so bored. So yeah, this is way better than that one. And then the other one was like a really sad ending, and so I didn't like that. Those are the only other two superhero movies I can think of. I'll probably like, people will probably be like, haven't you seen this movie? And I'll be like, oh yeah, I've seen that. Okay, maybe I have seen other superhero movies, but those are the only ones I can think of. It's not that I don't like them. It's just like I don't gravitate towards it. I love like psychological thrillers. Like, so as you're suggesting movies for our watch-alongs, keep that in mind. I love like a total like mind F, you know what I mean? Like a Gone Girl or something. And that's why I love all those like super cheap Lifetime thrillers, because like, you know, they're not very well done, but they're a fun ride. So anyway, but yeah, I loved it way more. I liked it way more. I loved it in general, but I liked it way more than any of the other superhero movies I've seen, because I was not really into them. but also just because I thought this was an amazing movie. I thought it was an amazing film. Okay, 18. How did I feel about the dynamic between Peter and Harry Osborn? I actually found it interesting because, like, at first I just assumed Peter wasn't going to have any friends. That's mean, but like, you know, like he was getting picked on, everyone's laughing at him on the bus and all that stuff. So I was kind of like almost surprised that they decided to give him a friend. And I'm so glad they did, because everyone deserves friends, and he was so cute. And, you know, I felt so bad for him. So I was glad he had a friend. But like, you know, James Franco is like so cool, right? You know, he's such a like cool guy. You would think that like, you know, maybe he wouldn't be friends with him. And so I found it a little surprising. Maybe they've been friends since they were kids or something. But also there's like that dynamic of there's certain kinds of cool kids that are just so above everything, and they're like, I don't care what group you're in, I'm going to be your friend. And those are the best people. The people who do not care at all, like what clique you're in or whatever, and they still want to be your friend because they just see you as a human being. Those are the people you want to know, and you hold on to them and you treat them like gold. And you probably shouldn't kill their dads. Damn it. But he had to, you guys, he had to. I mean, what are you going to do? He was like, his dad was like killing everybody. So he had to kill his dad. But aside from that, yeah, I thought they had a good friendship. And it was disappointing when he started dating Mary. It was like, all right, not cool. But again, you know, he seemed like he understood, like, you know, he hadn't made a move in so many years, and he did seem to really love her. So I guess we'll forgive him. So that's what I think about their dynamic, their friendship. Okay, where are we? Oh my gosh, only 2 more questions. Were there any scenes that stood out to you as particularly memorable or emotional? Yes. So we all know my favorite scene is the kiss, obviously, but the scene that killed me and I like wanted to turn the movie off and like go cry, but it was so well written, was when his uncle was killed. And, you know, like that moment was so bad, but it's like you look back, you know, the scenes all leading up to it, it was all a setup to break our hearts. You know, when he's having that talk and trying to be so earnest with Spider-Man, with Peter in the car, and trying to give him advice, and he's like, you're not my dad, stop trying to be my dad. And it's like, oh man, that's the last thing he said to him. That sucks. And we all know that that doesn't matter. You know what I mean? The last thing you say to somebody before they die is not important. It's like, you know, how you got on with them, you know, during their whole life, obviously. But like, it still sucks. It sucks so bad for Peter. And I'm sure for his uncle too. Like, no one wants to be in a fight and then have somebody be killed. And then, like, just the guilt that Peter felt clearly when he realized that that shooter was the guy he didn't stop, and he didn't stop him out of spite. You know what I mean? And like, you know, like I would have stolen the money, probably, maybe in an alternate universe. But I probably would have stopped the guy and then like taken the money from him and whatever. But yeah, him not stopping him led to his uncle's death. And like, how do you live with that? Like, how do you, And so yeah, he was really taking his words to heart after that. And then, oh my God, when he had to walk in and tell his aunt, like, oh my God, just killed me. So that is the scene that was the most memorable and emotional to me. Okay, and now we are on 20. Oh my gosh, it's been like an hour almost. I had no idea I had so much to say about Spider-Man. If you had asked me a week ago if I could have talked for an hour straight about Spider-Man, I would have said you're crazy, but here we are. So question 20, and I have a feeling that this is hinting. Do you think you'd like to watch the sequel or other Spider-Man movies in the future? I get what you're hinting at. I get it. But we're gonna keep voting on things. Yes, I absolutely do. Yeah, like I said earlier, I was really relieved when I saw that they made more with Toby and Kirsten. So I'm excited to watch those, and I definitely will watch them on a watch along. So we'll watch them together in the not so distant future. Don't worry. I don't want to just do Spider-Man's though, so we're gonna have to mix it up a little bit first, but we will definitely get there. Yeah, I'm so excited to see where it goes. I have my predictions, and please don't spoiler me in the comments, but these are my predictions. So I think that Harry's going to become the new supervillain. Like, he's going to find the mask in like his mansion, and he's going to be like, what is this mask doing here? And then he's going to like play with it and like put it on in the mirror, like just being like, this is so weird. And then all of a sudden he's going to like, his eyes are like going to turn green, and he's going to be like, whoa, oh no. And then like the mask is going to get him, and he's going to become a supervillain. And then he's going to figure it out somehow. He's going to figure out that Spider-Man killed his dad, and whether, oh my god, that was so weird. Sorry, I just had this like weird pain in my arm that came out of nowhere. Anyway, sorry. I think he's gonna figure out that Spider-Man killed his dad, and then he's gonna be like, I'm gonna kill Spider-Man, and he's gonna like use the mask's powers and like learn how to do it and make that his mission. And then like he's gonna realize that his girlfriend loves what's his name, Peter, and he might like put together that Peter is Spider-Man. He may or may not. He might. And then he's gonna be so mad that Mary loves Spider-Man, and so that's gonna make him hate Spider-Man even more. And like, he's just, he's this broken guy. His dad never gave him the love that he deserved. And then not only that, Spider-Man took him away, and then Spider-Man takes his girlfriend away, and he's just like so mad that he's like, okay, I'm gonna like blow up everybody. So I think that's what's gonna happen. And then I think Mary's gonna realize that Harry has gone crazy, because like, I mean, in his defense, anyone would kind of go crazy in that moment, but she's gonna be like, no, I can't date you anymore, you're crazy. And she's going to be like, I love Spider-Man anyway. And then she's like, I'll wait for you, Peter Parker. And then Spider-Man's going to like do all kinds of stuff, like saving the city and saving babies and like trying to kill Harry and everything. This is going to be really hard because him and Harry are best friends. And I wonder if this is right. I can't wait to find out what really happens. I'm like writing Spider-Man 2. So Spider-Man and Harry like are going to fight and fight and fight and fight and fight. Oh my God, maybe they won't realize. Okay. This would be so good. If I was writing Spider-Man 2, this is what I would do. So Harry would like realize that Spider-Man killed his dad, but he wouldn't realize that it was Peter Parker. Okay. And so they're both wearing their superhero costumes, and their superhero and supervillain costumes, and they're fighting, and they're like, I hate you, you killed my dad. And Spider-Man's like, I hate you because your dad was bad and so are you. And then at some point they're gonna like accidentally have their masks come off and realize that they're each other, and that they were each other's best friends. Oh my God, I I really hope that happens, because imagine like you're wearing, you know, a superhero costume and a villain costume, and you're fighting and you're fighting and you're fighting, and your masks come off and you realize that you're fighting someone that you love so dearly and that they're your best friend since childhood. Like, oh my God. Oh my God. If that doesn't happen in that movie, I'm going to write a movie where it does happen, because I think that would be really good. So, anyway, my answer, I went off on a tangent there. My answer is yes. I think I would love to. If you're inviting me on a couple more movie dates, my answer is yes. And those are my predictions in what happens. And then like, oh yeah, so after like they realize that they're, you know, best friends, and they're so sad, and they're like, oh no, what do we do, because you're really bad, and like I have to kill you, and like he's like, but I'm still mad at you because you killed my dad, whatever. Then like Spider-Man's gonna have a little more time open up, because he'll have like, you know, gotten Harry to like calm down a little bit, and then he's gonna have some time to date Mary, because like if the romance is over in episode 1 and like in the movie 1, like I'm done, I'm not gonna watch anymore. So I need to make sure there's more romance. So I think that like Spider-Man's gonna like have a little more time open up in the second installment, and he's gonna have more time to like explore his relationship with Mary. So anyway, those are my predictions. Don't spoiler me. Don't tell me what happens. I want to know what your answers are to like everything in the comments. So tell me, because like this is really fun to talk about. And maybe on my next live stream or something, we can talk about it more. Because wow, you did an amazing job picking a really awesome movie for us to watch together on our second movie date. Oh my God, our second date. Can you even believe it? I also have one for Bad Teacher. You know what happens on the third date, don't you? Just kidding. That happened on the second date in Patreon. Just kidding. Anyway, so yeah, I can't wait for our next movie date, and maybe we'll have to do some more of these discussions afterwards, these post-date movie breakdowns. So excited to see what you all have to say too. So anyway, thank you again. This was so much fun, and I love you so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye.